banning geo-blocking, breaking down those virtual walls that keep you from shopping online. Debating the future of Europe through the eyes of the EU's newest member, Croatia. The future European Parliament reloaded, reconfiguring a smaller post-Brexit elected body with power to pick the Commission presidential candidates. And a vote to fire a Parliament vice president over slanderous comments against a fellow MEP. Hello and welcome to our roundup of the European Parliament's latest plenary session here in Strasbourg. We begin with geo-blocking, that thing that keeps you from buying something within the European Union online just because of who you are or where you live. Parliament has voted to start tearing that down. MEPs gave their final approval, setting new rules that ban discrimination against online customers. The EPP group's Róża Thun wrote Parliament's legislation and explains.
This geo-blocking legislation is really a win-win for both, for those who buy and for those who sell. For the consumers, because they will not be discriminated anymore. Nobody will tell them you are not of a given nationality or your place of residence is not the one we target our activity to. So we block you, we won't sell the product to you. And to the business, to the seller, it's very interesting because it's easier for the seller to gain clients, to sell to the whole of Europe.
Thun got the legislation to include a review clause that 2 years after it takes effect, the European Commission will review the rules and consider widening the geo-blocking ban to include other sectors like audiovisual and transport. Next, the future of Europe. It's been nearly 5 years since Croatia joined the European Union, became the 28th member of the EU. It's a good time for the Prime Minister and his colleagues here in the European Parliament to talk about the challenges ahead. A former EPP Group MEP, Prime Minister Andrej Plenković, spoke of his country's ambitions as an EU member, including joining Schengen and adopting the euro. He called on the EU to take in the rest of the Balkans when the requirements are met. And he gave his vision of the EU after the UK leaves the European Union, including building security and defense.
Croatia, which longed so much to again be part of Europe, today wants to be a part of its inner circle. I wholeheartedly work on achieving these goals every day, convinced that this is in the best interest of the Croatian citizens.
EPP Group Chairman Manfred Weber said Plenković's words should encourage other Balkan countries to follow suit.
He did a clear commitment towards the rest of the Balkan region, because Croatia is one of the success stories in the region when it comes to growth, when it comes to perspective of the citizens. It gives us an example, a model for the whole Balkan region. Please follow the Croatian approach.
Plenković concluded with Croatia's plans to assume the rotating EU presidency in 2020 after next year's European elections.
With its values and freedoms, quality and the way of life, and the highly competitive social market economy, Europe needs to reassert itself as a role model that will inspire people across the world to build a better future. Dear friends, it is upon us all to deliver. Thank you.
From the future shape of the European Union to the future shape of this European Parliament after Brexit, MEPs have voted to take those UK seats, reduce the number and redistribute some of them among member states. Here's how it works. The move would eliminate about 2/3 of the UK's seats in the European Parliament and share those remaining with the other member states. That means cutting Parliament down from 751 seats to 705. The EPP group sought to limit the number of redistributed seats to 27. Danuta Hübner of the EPP group chairs the Committee on Constitutional Affairs.
It allows us not only to address the problem of underrepresentation of some member states, but it will also leave a number of seats available for future enlargements.
Parliament also agreed that the next Commission president should be chosen among nominees from the major political groups in Parliament. Finally, there's been a lot of name-calling in this Parliament in the past, but a Parliament vice president comparing an MEP to a Nazi collaborator is seen as a step too far. MEPs have voted to remove him from that post. Ryszard Czarnecki had blasted the EPP group's Róża Thun after she appeared on a German state TV documentary where she accused the current Polish government of heading toward a dictatorship. Czarnecki, a member of the ruling Law and Justice Party, sparked outrage by comparing her to Nazi collaborators during World War II. He has refused to apologize. 4 party group presidents in Parliament have already voted to remove Czarnecki due to, quote, serious misconduct. The EPP group's Manfred Weber among them.
There's no debate that everybody can have free speeches as a member of a European Parliament. But Czarnecki is not only a normal member of Parliament, he's a vice president of these institutions, and he cannot attack in an unacceptable way members of this Parliament. He cannot compare the European Union with the Soviet Union. That's unacceptable. There are red lines which he crossed.
Parliament approved Czarnecki's removal by more than the required 2/3 majority, and it is to elect the new vice president next week. Czarnecki retains his seat as an MEP. That's all for now from the Strasbourg plenary. See you soon in Brussels. And find out more about the activities of the largest political force in Parliament by checking eppgroup.eu. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.